Good morning, students. So, students, in the last class, we learnt about the Prithvi missile, the Agni missile, space research, about ISRO, Bhaskar 1, and Aryan passenger payload experiment. Okay, now let's move further with the chapter. The next point we are going to learn is Indian National Satellite called INSAT. In August 1983, the satellite InSight 1B was launched in space. Because of this satellite, a major revolution came about in the areas of telecommunication, television, radio, weather forecasting, and space research in India. Now, when this satellite was started in 1983, now because of this satellite, different revolutions started becoming. In what? In the areas, different types of areas like telecommunication, television, they had different technology, latest technology. So India was developing. Due to INSAT 207, Akashwani or radio stations could be connected to each other. So using this satellite, they could connect with the Akashwani or radio stations. This mechanism was also useful for search and rescue of people caught in some disaster like a shipwreck or an airplane crash, for forecasting weather, to look for and follow cyclones or storms in the field of telemedicine and educational institution. Now this satellite was so useful that during it would, if there was any plane crash or shipwreck, so you could understand by using this satellite. It was also useful for forecasting the weather, that what will the weather will be today, tomorrow. Okay, so it was useful so much. The telemedicine service enabled the population from remote areas to get advice and treatment from expert doctors. Now the satellite had become so popular that the people living far away also, and if they needed any treatment or they needed any medicine, they could take. Okay. Public primary health centers in villages have been connected with super specialty hospitals through INSAT. Okay, so there are some centers, health centers also, which have been connected to the villages through this satellite. Next we'll learn is about the technological progress, how India is progressing. A factory manufacturing railway engines, Chittaranjan Locomotive Works, was set up at Chittaranjan in Burdwan district in West Bengal. Steam engines, electric engines, and engines running on diesels were manufactured here. So this technological progress, how India started progressing in technology in all these types of work on engines, railway engines, then steam engines, okay, and how they were manufacturing on diesel. The first diesel engine was manufactured at the Diesel Locomotive Works at Varanasi. India started exporting railway engines to Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Tanzania, and Vietnam. So, as India was developing, they were using technologies, okay? In that way, they were not only using technology or using that technology in India, but they were sending it to other countries also. Okay, the railway engines, the engines of the trains, they used to send it to other countries also, like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. Okay, so we can see that that India is developing in technology. Next, we'll move to telex service. Now, the telex service is the communication service. The Department of Telecommunication under the Ministry of Communications started the telex service in 1963. So, this communicating with people, was started in 1963 to transmit type messages from one part of the country to another rapidly. Now you all know that there was no mobile phones at that time. So they used to type messages and then send. So that was started in 1963 so that people could communicate with each other. In 1969, the telex service started in Devanagari script in Delhi. Later, it spread all over the country. This service began to be used in different fields. With the rise of internet after 1990, the significance of this service reduced. So internet started rising in 1990. Okay, at that time we started using internet. So this service, that is sending messages, started getting reduced. We all know now that to send a message it doesn't take time. So when internet came, that is in 1990, then this service started reducing, that is by sending messages, written messages. Next, we'll move on to Satellite Communication Center. In order to establish satellite communication with the help of an artificial satellite, a domestic satellite communication earth station was established in 1967 at Jodhpur, Tekra near Ahmedabad. This made it easy to train scientists and technicians in setting up and running on earth station within this country. In 1970, a center was established at RV near Pune, equipped for international telecommunication service. Now, this satellite communication was used for international telecommunication service. That means if any people who are staying in another country, it was used for that, to communicate to those people in the other countries. Next we learn is about PIN code. Now from 15th August 1972, the Post and Telegraph Department started the 6-digit PIN code system in the country. Now you all know what's PIN code, right? Different places have different PIN code. So that's very important. So this PIN code facility was started in 1972. The postal index code was intended to bring efficiency in distributing the mail. So they have, as I told you, before they used to send or write messages or write letters. So that had to have a PIN code. If you don't have a PIN code, how will that go? So they started the postal index code for distributing mails. In this system, the country was divided into 9 regions. There are 9 regions. The first digit of the PIN code indicates the region. The first digit, okay, indicates the region. The second digit indicates the sub-region. And the third digit shows the main disbursement district. While the remaining 3 digits shows the location of the local post office. Now we have 6 digits in our PIN code. We all know that, right? So for Maharashtra, the first 2 digits are 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Okay, for Maharashtra, we use this PIN code no 400061 like that. You all have a different PIN code. So for Maharashtra, the first 2 digits starts with 40, 41, 42, 43 and 44. In 1986, the speed post service was started to send postage rapidly. Okay, so to send any letter or to send any mails, that time they had to have this PIN code. If you don't have a PIN code, how will it be sent to that address? So that time, so this PIN code was started in 1972 so that it could be done faster to send the messages. Okay. So here we will end with this video. We will learn the last part of the lesson in the next video. Thank you for listening, children. Goodbye. Take care.